suddenly I was like, wow, this is very lonely. I'm surprised I've got any friends, actually. You know what? This is okay. Like, I actually do really like the other side of my life. Like, I like being a mum.
Well, you say whatever swear word you want.
I mean, underneath it all, I'm a miserable hag.
Now, I'm wondering whether a lot of people think I have IBS.
100%. I would. I don't feel like I'm lacking a mum. I just feel like I'm lacking the physical side of having a mum. PR goodie bags, should have been feral for those. She would have loved a PR goodie bag.
Like my mum. You've given me
we had her
twice on this podcast so far.
I'm smiling because it's so...
That time where we all thought we were going to die.
Sorry to make this so incredibly heavy so quickly.
So Louise, welcome to Mum's the Word.
Thank you for having me. This is a very, very nice studio.
Thank you ever so much.
Yeah, this is an upmarket one.
I'd like to say it's all mine, but it's absolutely not. I just sauntered into here one day and then claimed it as my own. So, Louise, you have got a new book out, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Yeah. But in this book, there is a lovely little girl, and she has strong female women around her. She's got a group of good friends, right?
Yes.
And good friends are important, aren't they?
Yes. You can choose your friends, but not your family.
That is very true. Yeah. That is true. Yes. And having strong female women around us is, of course, super, super important. How have you found it helpful having that female support around you?
Oh, it's invaluable. I think it's crucial. When so I've got two daughters. I've got Darcy, who's 14, and Pearl, who's 7.
Yes.
And it's quite a big age gap. When I first had Darcy, I was 25, and none of my friends were having babies at that time. So although I did have friends, I didn't have anyone that was kind of in the same chapter of life. And so I was quite isolated, but didn't know I was isolated. So I was a bit like, I'm fine. I don't need anyone. This is okay. And social media was only just starting to take off then. So it's not like it is now where you can have like your digital village. And I found it very quickly very difficult. I thought, I'll just be living the dream and looking after my baby at home. And then suddenly I was like, wow, this is very lonely. And so over the years, I've made a lot more effort to nurture friendships. I say that there'll be people that are like, you've not nurtured my friendship.
You haven't messaged me back for a week.
Yeah, no, I am the worst at that.
Same.
If I will look at a message and be like, oh yeah, need to reply to that, and then 3 months later I'm like, I'll look at it 3 days later and then be like, I feel a bit embarrassed now because I should have replied then. I'll do it tomorrow, and then time will go on. I actually have a friend, if you're listening, Emma, I'm so sorry.
We're sorry, Emma.
I'm so sorry, Emma. Because she messages me such nice messages, and then I'm like, it's been so long and I don't know. And so I sent her a message the other day being like, I was so sorry.
How many messages do you send where you go, I'm so sorry, I've been so shit?
That's the cycle. That is a cycle.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I've got any friends, actually. But having friends is so important to me because I am a little bit lacking in the female family department. My mum passed away when I was 7. My granny passed away. My grandma died a couple of years ago. So I have some aunties who are amazing, but the friends in my life are kind of filling that void for me. And I also think, even if you're not a mum, you still need your gal pals.
Oh, you need your gals, don't you?
Don't you think you can be closer to your best friend than you can like your actual partner sometimes?
Oh, 100%. They're just there as like a sounding board. Do you ever just go, I think I'm being rational about this decision that I'm making, but if I just speak to the girls, they're going to tell me one way or the other. They're going to go, actually, George, you're being like completely irrational.
You see, I will be the friend that if you were like, am I crazy? To be like, no, you're not. No, whatever it is, I'll be like, no, you're so valid. You're so valid.
I've got the really brutally honest girls around me.
That's Charlotte. That's what Charlotte is for me.
Actually, yeah. Charlotte's been very brutally honest with me before. We love her for that,
don't Charlotte.
We?
Yeah, we all need a Charlotte.
Everybody needs a Charlotte in their lives. But they are important. So do you have any besties that are school mums?
Yes.
You do?
Yes,
And did you think you would have them?
I hoped I would have school mummy friends. When Darcy started school, I was very intimidated by all the school mums. And there was one mum in particular who, she was so glamorous. She always had like high heels on, red lipstick, big bouncy curly blonde hair. And I was like, she'll never talk to me. And we became the best of friends. We've been on holiday together. We call each other our beloveds, our soul sisters.
Oh, that's so nice.
And we just adore each other. And then in Pearl's cohort, it seems to be a little bit more of like a chilled out bunch. So we've actually, I say we've made friends because we've done the Holy Grail. I've made friends with the wives and Liam's made friends with the dads.
Oh, marvellous.
And then we all hang out together.
But see, that's what
the dream.
That is the dream, isn't
Yes.
it? Because it's funny, I went into like life as a school mum and I was like, I've got my friends. I don't need any more. I'm not bothered. Because it's forced. But in my head, I was like, this is forced friendship.
Now, you see, I'm the school mum that forces the friendship.
Yes,
because I would have been like, hello.
Well, it turns out so am I.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't know I was going to be this person, but it turns out I really, really am.
Yeah.
I was like, I like you. Can you be my friend,
We're friends
please?
forever.
Yeah. With a psychotic look in your eye. Yeah, we will be friends forever. But it's amazing how you go through these walks of life and you kind of think you've got your tribe, and then all of a sudden, like the school happens, and you're like, wow, there's more people that I actually really like in this world.
Don't you think, though, I wonder what other groups of people there are waiting for me?
Yeah.
Like my university girlfriends are like my ride or dies, but we have had seasons of life where we have like ebbed and flowed. So I think you do that with all groups of people.
Yeah.
And at the moment we're in a close phase. But when I had my first baby, we sort of drifted because they hadn't had their babies. So I wonder if the mums now that are like, currently, the school mums in my life are like my village.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad to think, what if one day we drift? But then it's like, but who else will come in? That's like,
well,
kind
it'll
of
be when we're in
exciting.
our nursing homes, Louise.
Yeah.
We'll be like, oh, you're nice.
I really want to go to a nursing home with loads of my besties.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, and then I want to do that exercise. We've seen it on TikTok where like guy goes around and gets them all to like kick balloons from their chairs and stuff. I'm like, I'm ready for that. That sounds great. Just like make my dinner, bring it on a tray, I'll kick a balloon about.
I'd quite like to do that now, to be honest with you. We'll just have dinner and kick a balloon around. Why not, eh?
Let's do it. Let's sack this off. Let's go.
Sod it. Let's go. Let's go, everyone. And do you spend time with your girlfriends away from the children often or not?
Not as much as I should.
Okay.
It's just really difficult. It's a season of life where I try and combine things. I don't know if you do this, but like a lot of my friends I work with, so Charlotte is my publicist and my friend.
Yeah.
So today we're kind of having a day together, but it is because we've done a TV thing in this podcast. So I will do that, or with my mum friends, it kind of works out well that like my friend Jo, her daughter and my daughter go horse riding together. So we sit and chat. Like I'm always like killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
And so I wish I did spend more time just spending time, but it just feels like such a luxury, and it almost feels, and I hate to say it, it almost feels too hard because you've got to like sort out the logistics for who's having the kids and then book this off work and they've got to book, and like trying to get a time together when everyone can make it somewhere. And then on top of that, even if they can make it in their schedule, they're feeling well, their hormones aren't crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, do you ever just book something and then think, I can't?
There's so many factors. There's so many factors that goes into mums planning a night off.
Yeah,
Isn't there?
Especially if your friends don't live like in your area.
Oh, yeah. We're just trying to do one now that's Christmas. So, we've got a good few months. Already the logistics are really hard. And we're like, so you can do this date and you can do this date, but then you've got the kids but it's a kid-free one, so we're not doing this. And everything is just so difficult when you become a mum, trying to like organise things, isn't it?
It is really hard. I've sort of just given up. Not given up like throwing the towel in, but sort of accepted my fate and just thought, you know what, this is okay. Like, I actually do really like the other side of my life. Like, I like being a mum.
Yeah.
I like my job. I like what I get to do. And I know that the time where like I'll go on cruises with my friends for like long weekends and we'll go and rent cottages by the seaside, like those things will happen.
Yeah.
They're just not happening right now. Much like when I was at uni, I used to go out and do shots and have a great time. I don't do that now. That's okay. Like there's seasons for different things.
There is. We actually did a shot this weekend at
I thought you were going to say this morning, and I was
this
like,
morning I just did a shot before you came on.
All right then.
No, the weekend. Well, I mean, it just about finished off one of my friends. And then I suggested we should go on the waltzers. That finished off the other one. And I was like,
oh my God, shots on the waltz.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not sure we're the girls we once were. I think we were just trying to be those young, carefree girls that could do shots and then go on waltzes, but we're not that anymore.
Even thinking about waltz makes me feel a bit funny now, a bit queasy.
Isn't it weird how, like, the older you get, the less you are capable of going on a ride?
Yeah, in every sense. Lol.
Ride of life.
Yeah.
So you mentioned briefly prior about your mum. So
yes.
When I heard this, honestly, my heart hurt because I could completely relate because you were 7 when your mum died, right? And my little boy's 7, and he has such a fear of people dying, massive. And he always says to me, "Mummy, what would I ever do if you left me?" And I was like, "Oh, sweetheart, well, you don't even need to worry about that." And then obviously I saw your story and I was like, it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it happened to you.
Yes, it did. Although, ironically, I don't have a fear of anyone dying.
Really?
Because my mum got ill when I was 5. So there wasn't a lot of time in my life that I can remember where she wasn't ill. Because I don't think I can remember much beyond sort of like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then she was ill, and then she died.
So it's kind of all you've ever known.
Yeah. So it's just sort of total acceptance, really. And it was dealt with quite well, I think. There's lots of things in my life that I don't think have been dealt with well, but that really was like just the decisions that were made around keeping me in the loop over what's going on, attending my mum's funeral, all of those sorts of things were dealt with well. But obviously, it's really shit. I don't know if we can swear on this.
Oh, we can. You say whatever swear word you want.
I mean, you can't sugar the pill. Like, it is shit having a dead mum.
Yeah.
But I try really hard not to let it massively impact, but I do think about it a lot. I think about it every day.
Do you?
Not so in like a devastatingly like weeping and, not in a grieving way, but just kind of the same way that you think about your kids every day. Or if you've got pets, you think about your pets, or you think about your job.
Yeah.
I do think about my mum, or like, because she's so included in our life, like both of my girls are named after her. So Darcy Jane and Pearl Jane.
Aww.
Or if we see a white butterfly or like a little feather, we'll be like, oh, there's Granny Jane.
Yeah.
Fun story. Do you know Emily Norris?
Yes.
Yeah. So we went to Centre Parks with them. I'm sure she won't mind me telling the story.
Yeah.
Sorry, Emily, if you did.
Sorry, Emily.
We went to Centre Parks with them about a year ago. And we were... I don't know, have you been to Centre Parks?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah,
we were walking down to like the Central Plaza, and I saw a little white feather. And I said to one of her boys, I think her youngest one, I think it was her youngest, or was it Caleb? I think Jackson. I was like, Jackson, whenever I see a little white feather, I think of my mummy in heaven. So whenever I see it, I say, oh, there's my mum. And he's like, where is your mum? So I say, oh, my mum's dead. And then I casually said, I don't know how I must have said it, but I said, whenever I see a feather, I think, oh, there's my dead mum. And I said dead mum in quite a casual way, because I was just trying to make it quite clear for him.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not upset by this, I'm not upset by this. We don't need to make
How old is he?
He was around 7 or 8 at the time.
Okay, fine. Yes, he could understand what you were saying.
He understood what I was saying, but I knew that he didn't really need much more sort of info than that.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's nice. I was like, yeah, we carried on walking. And then there must have been like some sort of bird fight, because along the trail from our lodge to the Central Plaza must have been 1,000 little white feathers. These birds had ripped each other's shreds. So he started to go, there's your dead mum. There's your dead mum. There's your dead mum. He was like, Louise, there's your dead mum. Louise, there's your dead mum. There's your dead mum.
Like, Jackson.
And everybody was like, Jackson! And I was like, honestly, it's fine. I was like, she's everywhere.
She was making a point that day.
Yeah,
your mum was really...
Here she is.
She was like, I should be at Centre Parks.
I know. I was like, I should be a bit more specific about what is and what is not. Like, that ripped apart bird is my dead mum.
This mole bird, maybe not dead mum.
But I do have some, like, humorous moments around having a dead mum. Not a lot. No. Admittedly, there's more, like, crap bits than good bits. But, like, you've got to find the funny side of having a dead mum.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to make light of things sometimes.
It's dark humour.
Dark humour. And I love a bit of dark humour.
You've got to.
As long as you also have the feels as well.
Yes.
You know, you've also got to have those moments where you grieve.
I do have the feels, but I think I push those down a lot. And my husband has really dark humour as well. He's a police officer, so he sees like really horrific things. So we both just sort of
sees dead mums.
Yeah.
He'll come across a dead mum every
now and again. Yeah, he does.
We laugh, and we laugh.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I did wonder, though, because I've listened to you on podcasts before, and I've always thought, God, she's really funny, is Louise. She's got really good...
Not today. I've left all my funniness.
She's ill, just in case we've not said it already on the podcast. She's not too well today.
Ex-Hollandaise earlier.
Oh, no, do you think it was that? Do you think it's just not sat well?
It's a bit rich.
Bit rich. She like my best friend. Anything a bit rich, she's a goner.
We walked over. Charlotte was like, "It's a 5-minute walk." It was not a 5-minute walk.
It was not.
It's not. And we stopped several times, and there was traffic, and it was. We've had a time, so apologies if I'm a bit like.
Can we all just appreciate how wonderful it is that Louise is here on the pod?
Pretend I'm being more funny than I am.
No, you are. I mean, you're still bringing the funny. Promise. I promise.
Okay, yes.
But I did wonder when I've listened to you before whether that is kind of like a mask where you kind of the funny masks over.
Oh yeah.
Pain sometimes.
Yeah, I mean. Underneath it all, I'm a miserable hag. Like at home, a lot like my real like offline friends are like, if only people knew.
If only they
how
knew.
Miserable you really are. I'm not miserable. I'm a lot more introverted, and I think I don't know about you, but I think I'm becoming more introverted as I age. I feel like in my 20s I was quite extroverted, and as I've gotten older, I've just thought, no, I just like to be quiet now. I
have to take myself off to the toilet sometimes. If I'm at a meal or out somewhere, sometimes just go and have 5 minutes in silence.
Do you know what a great tip for that is if you don't want people thinking like you're in there having diarrhea for ages?
Yeah.
If you say, I've just got to go and make a quick call. Because no one like ever questions that.
Do you know, I've never actually thought about that. And now I'm wondering whether a lot of people think I have IBS.
100%. I would
often go to the toilet
for ages.
Yeah. Like, wow, George is...
She's not well.
She's off again.
She's had the ex-Hollandaise.
Oh dear. See, look, we've made light of your mum's death, but
my dead mum and
your dead mum,
my tummy
and
today.
your tummy.
Brilliant.
But going back a little bit more serious, for anyone that's listening that also has a dead mum, or a parent that has died, or that is very unwell and isn't getting better, how have you processed and dealt with it, especially with the girls as well?
So this is a good question, and a couple of years ago a dear friend of mine passed away from cancer, and she has 2 children, and we talked about this a lot while she was ill. We talked about this a lot when she knew that what the ending was going to be. And I talked about how she was very worried that her girls would forget her, that when she died that was the end and they didn't have a mum. And I was like, I still am a proud daughter. I still have a mum. My mum still loves me. I truly feel my mum's love, and I don't mean in like a woo-woo, wishy-washy, like I'm sure she's looking down on me way, because that's my least favourite thing. And I know people say it with such good intention, like she's looking down on, and in fact I will say it to other people, like they're looking down on you. But I feel it physically. There's so many signs in my life that my mum loves me that I don't feel like I'm lacking a mum. I just feel like I'm lacking the physical side of having a mum.
So a cuddle.
Or a phone call or a birthday card or her coming round for a cup of tea and to nag me for my house being messy, that kind of thing. I feel,
or help, actually.
Or help.
It'd be nice if you, to pop round and just look after the kids.
Well, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
So I do miss that, but I don't feel like she's gone. And I think if you have lost someone, whether that's, a mum or a friend or whoever, I truly, truly don't think people disappear. Whether you believe in heaven or another religious afterlife or even just sort of the spiritual realm, I think that we carry on. Like, we know it's a fact that you cannot destroy energy. Energy just evolves into something else. It just transforms. So she's just transformed, and I will find out what that will be. I just don't know yet. And even when she passed away, this has been like drilled into me for a very long time. Even on her headstone, it says all her details, and it says till we meet again, because I knew right from, I know, even like from when I was like 5 or 6 and we knew, sort of 7, we knew she was definitely going to go. It was always, we'll see each other again. I'm going to get the set. And it's not forever. And that's what you've got to think about with people, that what we know now, this like mortal realm, this is just physical stuff, but there's so much more we don't know. My friend once said something to me that really like changed the way I think about things. So we look at the world and like in this room there's 2 human beings and a table and mics and our glasses of water, and out there's London and people, and we think that's it, that's everything there is. If you think of the whole world and some of the planets that we know about, that's it. But we're just seeing that thing. A shoe print doesn't look like a foot, but that's what we see. So if you just saw if I put my trainer in like paint and put it down on the floor, you would see that shape of a foot, but that's not what my foot looks like. That's not what's made that imprint. That's not what's caused that, but that's all you can see. So imagine if the world is like that. What if we're just looking at a shoe print and there's actually like a whole foot that has made this? Like, what else is there? So when you think like that and you're just like, we're not alone. Like people that have lost babies, and you think they're not gone. No. They're just waiting somewhere. Or maybe they're not even, maybe we're the ones waiting. We don't know. But when I think of it like that, I actually feel a bit excited, because I think, oh my goodness, like what's it going to be like when I'm reunited with like my mum and my granny and all these people? And when I see my friends reunited with like babies that have passed away and all those sorts of things, it kind of makes me think this is just the holding room. So let's enjoy this bit and then see what's next.
That's a very, very good way to look at it. And I don't think I've ever heard anyone describe grief and death and all that jazz in a better way, actually. That is such an incredible and positive way to think about it. I reckon that will sit with a heck of a lot of people.
I hope so, because
I'm going to take that forward. So that's coming with me, that, Louise. There was once a woman called Louise who told me about a shoe print.
But
wow. If your mum could see you now and see all this incredible wonder that you've achieved, these 2 beautiful girls, an author of seven books, a wonderful career, what do you think she'd say to you?
I think she'd be surprised.
Do you?
I wasn't super academic at school, so although she only saw me up to like year 2, I think she'd be so pleased. Like, I just think she'd be so pleased, but I think that she would be more pleased of the not online stuff. I think she'd be pleased with like my girls and my household. And by that I mean I live in a really calm house. I live in a really peaceful, happy, loving home. And that for me, because I grew up after mum died, things in my family went horribly wrong, and everything got a bit violent and nasty. And so for me, the greatest achievement is just having a really happy, safe, joy-filled home. And then all the other stuff, she'd have loved it. She'd have been, every red carpet should have been there.
Would she?
Something nice. Oh,
brilliant.
Yeah. She loved, if you were from Northampton, you will know this, but there was one shop called BT's that did like, was there a clothing brand called like Jaeger or Jaeger? Jaeger. She
is
loved
it Jaeger or
that.
Jaeger? Or is Jaeger the drink?
I'm thinking Jaeger bomb, But you know, like long pleated skirts with then like a long loose blazer. She was very Sloaney, so a bit of Princess Di. So she always had her glad rags for something.
Great. Love her.
So she'd have loved every red carpet. She'd have PR goodie bags. Should have been feral for those. She would have loved a PR goodie bag.
Like my mum.
So I think she would have really, really enjoyed it.
And do you see yourself in her? Do you? Or do you feel like you were too young to know?
I was too young to know her, really, because I only ever knew my mum the way a child knows an adult. So when I think of like how Pearl knows me, because Pearl's 7, which is the same age now. In fact, Pearl is 7.5 and I was 7.5 when my mum died. So I've just this last few months, I've been looking at Pearl being like, it's too young.
I was going to say, do you find that quite triggering because she's that age? That
unbelievably triggering.
And are you kind of like, wow, I've been through it.
Yes.
at that age?
I look at them more, so I won't get too much into it, but after Mum died, I was abused, and I don't use the word abuse lightly. I think there's a spectrum of abuse. I mean, like, horribly, severely,
Physically?
really sort of still have scars on my body. Like, think of the worst things you can imagine for a child. Not sexual, thankfully.
Yeah.
But physically, emotionally, and mentally. That happened to me.
How soon after your mum dying did that happen to you?
So it's funny of how not funny it is, but my mum died on the 20th, and I met the person that did this to me on Christmas Day. So 5 days. So 2 days after my mum's funeral.
Wow.
You know the phrase, not even cold in their grave?
Yeah.
That probably came from that.
You're giving me
We had her
goosebumps
funeral
twice on this podcast so far.
I'm smiling because it's so,
It's
like, I can't
so
make light
hideous.
of it. Like, I can make
Yeah.
light of having a dead mum, but I just cannot make light of being abused. Because
How long did it go on for, Louise?
8 years, till I was 15.
8 years?
Yes. So
Did you ever tell anyone?
yes and no. I try to tell people, but the thing about being abused is often abusers will groom children
Yeah.
to stay silent.
Yeah.
So I
Tell
was,
them something bad will happen, or...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was very badly groomed into silence. And so then when I did tell people, I was sort of skirting around not really being able to say it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the sad thing is, I didn't really know I was being abused. Like, I knew that I was being very seriously hurt and injured, and I knew that these things were happening to me, but I was led to believe by the person that did this to me, a woman, that that was normal, and that I had had an abnormal start with my mum, because I would think, but my mum didn't do this to me, and she would just be like, she would say that your mum didn't care, like all sorts of awful things.
And you started to believe that
well, yeah, because I was only
nice...
7.
Oh,
think of like a
Louise.
7-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely
So
can think of that.
I was like, okay. And what this person did was isolate me from like the rest of my family, so nobody could see it, because abusers are smart. They will find ways to abuse. They're not just going to do it like, in the middle of the street. So this happened for a long time, and it wasn't till I was 15 that I had been telling my dad, but my dad wasn't listening for lots of different reasons. He wasn't in receive mode. He didn't deal with it well. He knows he hasn't dealt with it well, and with
Denial.
yeah, he was pretty just unavailable. I think he tapped out as well.
Right.
But now I try and have like a better relationship with him, but we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah.
But when I was 15, this is all very dramatic of me, but we had a party for the millennium, and
That time where we all thought we were going to die.
yeah, millennium bug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were like, that's it.
the planes are going to drop out the sky.
when the clock strikes 12.
That's it. We're gone.
Existence is gone.
We had a New Year's Eve party at our house, and I said something to him that really made like the hairs on his back of his neck stand up, and said, if this thing doesn't change, I'm going to kill myself.
Oh, Louise.
And I think he could tell that I wasn't like,
That wasn't
I
a
wasn't being a
joke.
stroppy teen. I was 15, so I wasn't being like, I hate you.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
like I can't
carry on.
I can't carry on like this. Like this is reached a level where I've exhausted all my coping strategies. And so what triggers me, and I'll try not to get upset, is when I look at my girls from 7 onwards, because I look at like Darcy, like when she was 8, I'm like, because the abuse didn't start the day I met her, obviously, like these things slowly fester and progress.
Yeah.
And I look at her body, it's the physical side of it. Like I think, gosh, your arms are so little and your back is so small, and like your hair is so soft. Like I can't imagine ever hurting her, laying hands on her, like wanting to do horrendous physical, like pre-thought out things to her. Like it makes me sick to think of that. And not just my girls, any child. Like it makes me physically feel sick. And so I have to stop myself going there sometimes. I went for counselling a few years ago.
I was going to ask that actually.
Yeah, I went for counselling because something really weird happened, which was, it never happened with Darcy, but Pearl's cry as a toddler really distressed me, because it was like, I don't know if it was the same tone. Like, I'd be so interested to know the science behind it. I don't know if it was like the exact same decibel or the exact same tone as my cry when this person was doing those things to me. And so, like, she would cry having a hair wash. I don't know if you've ever had a child that like hates having hair wash.
Oh God, yeah. we had a bath ban at one point because it was like us putting him in a bath of acid. But yes, I understand. Yeah.
So Pearl was one of those children that just hated hair washes. So I would do it as infrequently as like possible. But I was like, I do need to wash you. Like, we do need just like basic hygiene here. But she would scream, and she would be so distressed, and the screaming and screaming. And I tried every which way to avoid that noise. Like, I'd be like, what if we shower? What if I like pour water over with a jug? We could, like, you know, when you're trying every way to make this like the least distressing. But I would get be like, and I couldn't leave her because she was a toddler in a bath. Yeah. So
you couldn't be like, I just need a minute away
you know,
from
when people say just leave the room, I'm like, well, I daren't leave her in the bath.
No.
Even though she could sit up and everything, I was like, I don't want to do that. So I would be getting more and more distressed, but trying not to, and being like, "Oh, it's all right, darling." And then I'd just be like, just rinse the shampoo out. Never mind the rest. Like, the shampoo will have got on our body. That'll do. Like, just get her out of the bath. And then I'd have to like wrap her in a towel, and then be like, and I was like in a state. So that's when I went to counselling. So I was like, something in that sound. Isn't it interesting that it's the five senses? Like, there was something in the sound that really just like sent me a bit funny.
Oh yeah, but it is. It's like smell. If you smell a certain smell that like somebody used to wear, or like, you know, an ex-boyfriend's aftershave or something like that, and you're like, whoa, and it takes you somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, I saw someone wearing a ring that had a little gold panther on it, and this woman used to have that same ring. And I saw it, and it's the smallest, tiniest thing, and I saw it for a second, and I was just like, I was like so back there. But the progress that you can make mentally is incredible, because 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to have this conversation with you.
No.
6 years ago, I wouldn't have used the word abuse. I would have said, oh, I was mistreated. Like, I would have used any other word other than just calling something what it is. So I have made progress in that sense. But I think sometimes it's okay for whatever traumatic experience you've been through. And I would wager that everybody listening to this has had something traumatic happen to them. Sometimes I think there's a lot of pressure to fully heal. And I think it's okay to say, I've done well, but that thing is still sad, or that thing is still hurtful.
Yeah.
But I can cope with it.
Yeah, it's always going to be there.
It's always going to be there. I can't erase it.
No.
I can't take it out of my life story, but I can live alongside it, and I can manage it. And I think that's what I do with the abuse side of things, and it has made me a better mum.
And I think as well, you learn from it, and it makes you stronger. It makes you not be that person. Not
100%.
No, the rights and the wrongs, and it's an awful way to learn them. But but you unfortunately were in that position. And
well, what's incredible is that it is still legal in this country to smack your child. I am so passionate about not using physical punishments on children.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't ever have any discipline in your home, but there's a huge difference between discipline and sort of like correcting and redirecting.
Yeah.
I am quite a soft mum, I think, but my kids so far are okay. But I just feel horrified that it's still okay to do that. And obviously I'm coming from a very extreme place, because I was 1,000 times more than smacked, but it's from the same family, isn't it? If you went to work and you did something wrong, and someone said, I'm going to pull your knickers down and smack your bum, or I'm going to smack you on the back of your legs, or smack your arm, you'd be like, are you joking? Like, that's assault. I would be calling the police. And I've seen people say, oh, you know, it's just a little tap, doesn't hurt. I'm like, okay, but does anyone give you a little tap in your day-to-day adult life? No, it's assault. And children deserve the same rights in that sense as anybody does. They're humans. So.
And isn't it mad as well? Like, say if my dad or my mum now slapped me, that would be like really, really bad.
But be assault.
But if they did that to me as a child, that would just be, that's fine.
Just got a slap.
Yeah, got a slap. Isn't that mad how like completely different those two?
It is insane. And I don't like to call things insane, but it is insane. My dad he's from the generation where that he thinks it was okay. And we have had lots of battles about this because my dad did slap me a lot. Like a slap around the face was his kind of go-to for things. Like the other person was like incredibly, incredibly violent.
Yeah.
But take her away and still being kind of, I'll call a spade, physically assaulted as often as I was by my father is not okay. And when I've brought this up to him in sort of subsequent years, because he said, why aren't we as close as we could be? I'm like, because I really struggle with the way you treated me.
Yeah.
He'll be like, but it was okay in my day. And I've gone to such lengths, like, it was, just because it was done doesn't mean it was okay.
Yeah, it's not an excuse.
It's not okay. Like, you can say that about so many things.
Oh,
like,
I mean,
look
absolutely.
at all the historical abuse cases we're getting that have come out in the past few years. It's not okay just because it happened in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah, that's fine, because it was a while ago.
It was okay to do that then. No, it's not okay.
No.
So I'm very, very passionate about children's welfare, and I will always, I am like Mrs. Vigilant with my kids, but also other people's children. So I chaperone children in theatres. And
do you?
Yeah, because my eldest is like into theatre stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They often need like volunteers to help.
Yeah.
They can't leave children unattended backstage, so you can apply to your council and get your references and your licence. And
oh, right,
it's really nice.
You can do that. That's amazing.
Yeah, you have to like have all your DBS checks and all that kind of stuff. But thankfully, you know, I'm not actually a criminal. So yet.
I don't have a record.
Not yet. So I get to do that, and I'm always just like hyper aware of the signs of abuse.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being so open about that, Louise.
Yeah,
like,
sorry to make this so incredibly heavy
no,
so quickly.
Listen, we love to talk about everything here, and it is important to talk about things as well, because if it makes one person feel less alone, then
I hope so.
We're doing a cracking job.
Oh.
But let's lighten it a little bit.
Yes.
We've not got long, but let's talk briefly about your book.
A much lighter subject.
Subject. Adventures in Lylaland.
Lylaland.
Don't know why I struggled to say Lila so much.
I didn't realise that I struggled to say it until I recorded the audiobook. And then I was like, bloody hell, I wish I hadn't called her Lila now.
I chose the best name.
Lylaland really quickly.
Lylaland.
It's hard.
It's hard. So, just a brief synopsis of Adventures in oh my God, I can't say it.
No, I get it. I also...
really slow.
Adventures in Lylaland.
Adventures in Lylaland.
There you go. You did a good job.
Thank you so much.
So Lila is 10 years old, and if you read any of my previous books, I had a trilogy, the Wild trilogy, which was based on Robin Wilde, and she had a daughter called Lila. So this is Lila's book, and she's a character that we know and love, but with some new children's characters. It's aimed at children between 7 and 12, and Lila comes from a blended home, so mum and dad are separated, and she has just joined a private school, which is quite different from what she's used to, and she enters a national invention competition. So she's struggling as it is with mum and dad being separated and not getting on, and there's a lot of animosity there. And she's also finding school a bit different because it's not her usual crowd. So she has all those usual pressures, but the amazing thing about Lila and her imagination and her inventive mind is that she has a whole world. She has Lylaland that she can go to whenever she likes, and it's a magical, fantastical land with animals that she has created, and anything you can imagine is in Lylaland. And whenever life gets tough, she goes there until something happens that makes it very tricky to go to Lylaland.
Okay.
And she has to fix Lylaland whilst balancing a few hard things in her real life.
Well, I mean, it sounds absolutely fabulous. And I said to you off air how incredible it is that you've written a book that's about a blended family and divorce and the struggles that a child has. Because I was saying to you, wasn't I, one of my best friends, she's just got divorced. Her little boy has struggled with it a bit. And the only things that seem to be out there are like the self-help books from psychologists and all that. Something that a child can actually read themselves that is going to make them feel less alone.
I hope
is
so.
Incredible.
Oh, thank you.
And I think you've really, really paved the way for books like this, because it's so important. It's not talked about enough.
I hope so, because there's so many children in the UK that live in two homes or live in a single parent household or live in a blended family.
Yeah.
And this book isn't solely about that. It's just that just is her life.
Yeah.
I am divorced, and Darcy is from my first marriage, and you're right, there wasn't a lot out there at that time. I think we had a book called The Big Book of Worries, which was more like a self-help for children book, where the book was about a little boy and had a big bag of worries, but he shared his worries and blah blah blah. But this is kind of just a fun, nice book. I say fun, there's lots of fun, nice bits in it. It was a joy to write. Like, it was so much fun to write, but it was interesting kind of thinking about how that child would feel, how Lila felt with mum and dad arguing on the doorstep, like what that was like from her point of view, sat on the stairs hearing them argue, loving mum and dad. Because we as adults, if we've been through a split, we're firmly on one side, or if your best friend's been broken up, you know, one of my best friend's husband cheated on us, I'm like, oh, that's it, how dare, straight away. But their children love mummy and daddy, and that's really difficult to manage. And that is a theme that we see throughout the book. And in Lylaland, in her magical world as well, it starts to seep through, and that's what she has to deal with.
That's incredible. And you also, just very quickly, so you've weaved in girls being involved in things like technology and science.
Girls in STEM.
STEM, that's what it's called, isn't it? So that is science, technology, engineering and math.
That's the word. Right. I'm glad you said it, because I was like,
STEM stands for. Which is incredible, because it's such a male-dominated world.
Yes.
And for some reason it still is. I don't know why. And this features in the book.
Yeah, so Lila loves all of those subjects. Right. And that is because my Pearly Pops, and if you turn to the little dedication page here, it says, to every child with a big imagination, and to Pearly Pops, the most imaginative little girl I know.
Oh.
She loves designing, building, drawing, maths, numbers, like science. She loves all of that sort of stuff. And so I wanted there to be a little girl that loves it, and for it not to be weird. It's not like, oh, how unusual, Lila likes building things. No, she just is a kid that likes building things.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that she's a girl.
It doesn't matter.
She likes it.
The other little thing that I just like to tell people that you wouldn't know if you read the book, but there's a new character. She's on the front cover. She's called Florence, and she is half Iranian. And my half sister is half Iranian, Tiana. And we were talking, and she said when she was younger, she never ever. So we went to the same school, and she said there were no books in the library with half Iranian people ever. She was like, I never saw people that looked like me or were about me. So I was like, I am going to write a half Iranian girl into this.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so she's not like based on my sister's character or anything like that, but I was like, I want you to have, and it was really important to me that she was on the cover as well. I was like, there you go, you can have a half Persian girl. And she talks about like speaking Farsi, and like I tried to put like a little bit of my sister's culture in there, just to like, so she could see herself in it.
What an inclusive book.
You best give me nieces and nephews so that they can read this book.
Yeah, you better. Well done, Louise. It's incredible. I cannot actually wait to read it. I'm so excited. So where can we find it if we want one?
You can find it at all good bookshops, Waterstones, W.H. Smith, which is not called W.H. Smith anymore. It's called T.J. Jones now, I believe. Yeah, I think it's
world exclusive. I did not know that.
I don't know that it is an exclusive. I think they've like changed hands,
rebranded.
But on Instagram, I did tag W.H. Smith, and it was still W.H. Smith.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, but they're Amazon, all good bookstores, and even some rubbish ones.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, I will go on a hunt. Actually, I've got one, so I'm really happy now.
Yeah, you can have this
Louise
one as well.
Give me one. She's going to sign it for me, actually.
I will. I'll write it to anyone you like.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for having me on your lovely podcast. And I'm sorry that I was a bit late and a bit sicky, but I feel much better now.
Yay. Until next time, I'm Georgia Jones, and this is Mum's the Word. And we'll be back with another episode, same time, same place, next week.